who have continued to work, not just on my behalf, but in the interest of electing a progressive, liberal voice from Huron-Bruce. And I just want to start by thanking everyone for being here tonight. Thank you for being there 5 years ago, 4 years ago, in the last few months and weeks. And those of you who have just sort of arrived and want to get involved, that's fantastic. So thank you very much. I just want to stress that being here tonight is not your volunteer shift. So thank you very much for coming. And I do want to underline what Virginia said, that this kind of thing can only happen if we get people involved at the grassroots level in their communities. And that's how it should be. There shouldn't be people parachuted in to go out and knock on doors for you. We should have people in the community going out as a voice for this community, as a voice for the kind of movement that we are part of. So it's wonderful to see so many people here tonight that I can't see you all, so that's terrific. And I just want to remind you what it is that we're fighting for. And this is a fight. This is on. The election will begin in just a few days, and we will resume that campaign to elect a Liberal from Huron-Bruce. And why? Well, it's because our country is facing two competing visions for where we should go. And one of those visions is represented by Andrew Scheer and the Conservative Party. And from everything I have heard, what they are talking about is looking backward, going back to the Harper years, turning back the progress and some of the measures that the Trudeau government has been able to put in place. The competing vision, the one I had a chance to hear a bit of today, the Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was in Huron-Bruce Owen Sound, just to the north of us, spent a bit of time in Owen Sound, talking about our vision of moving forward. We have to move forward. And the new slogan for the campaign is Choose Forward, as the direction that we have to go. And that means working to continue things like the Canada Child Benefit, which has lifted 300,000 children out of poverty in this country. Thousands of them here in Huron-Bruce. Continuing with measures, progressive measures to lower taxes for the middle class. To have an actual strategy to confront what arguably is the most important issue of our time, which is climate change. That's the vision that we're fighting for. And we face a competing vision. It's almost overstating it to call it a vision that wants to look back, that will not acknowledge the challenges that we face from climate change. And I want you to think about the personalities of the leaders who are now competing to be the next Prime Minister of Canada. Think about Mr. Andrew Scheer. And in some campaigns they say don't even mention the name of your opponent. I think we should be reminding people who our opponent is. And this is a choice between Andrew Scheer and Justin Trudeau. And in the last few days, Mr. Scheer has been saying, oh, don't dredge up these social issues from the past. I've addressed that. Well, I'm sorry, Andy, you have not. And Canadians deserve to know what you believe, what you stand for. They don't want some legalistic explanation. Oh, don't worry about what I believe in. I won't actually do that. I'll respect the law of the land in Canada. That, in this day and age, in 2019, it is simply not good enough to even think about having a Prime Minister in this country who cannot stand up and just say straight up, I respect human rights, the dignity of all Canadians, to be who they are, to love who they love, to live their lives. If you cannot stand up and say that, you don't deserve to be the Prime Minister of this country. So that's the competing vision. And I myself believe we have to move forward with the kind of leadership, the kind of forthright leadership that Justin Trudeau provides. And say what you will about Justin Trudeau. This man is acting on his beliefs. This is somebody who is taking what he believes in and wants to do something about it. And that's doing things that benefit people. We know the problems that are out there in our society. We've made a start. in the first 4 years, and now we want to continue that vision of caring about the average person and their daily needs and what can government do to make their lives better. So we need to choose forward and move forward across the country and in this community. So I want to tell you, I've been working really hard. A lot of you have been working really hard. People like Rod McDonald, my campaign manager, and Mary Ellen Ross, who's the manager of the field organization in this operation, Judy Gates, who runs this building for us, one of our campaign headquarters, and many, many others. There are people who have been working not just for months, but for years on my behalf, on your behalf, to try and elect a progressive voice from Huron-Bruce. I'm working hard, although somehow I am not losing an ounce, even though I started off in January telling you there's that song, I will walk 500 miles and I will walk 500 more. Well, I have walked 500 miles, I will tell you, and now I'm working on the next 500. But I have to tell you, I will work harder. Morning, noon, and night is the schedule. But I cannot do this alone. We cannot win this with just a candidate and a few people out going from door to door. So I'm making a really blunt, straightforward appeal to everyone in the room. If you are here tonight, and if you care enough to be here, and I appreciate your presence, I strongly encourage you to consider this to be the first of your volunteer shifts, and to talk to someone and working on a campaign. Visit our volunteer center in the back of the room, right beside where the food was. We should have really had you sign up before you got your food. We need to knock on doors. It's politics 101. And that's not just about gathering data and figuring out where the voters are, although that's part of it. We need to be out there in our community, talking to our neighbors, having conversations. Be yourself and reach out to your friends and your neighbors and your acquaintances and people you maybe don't even know that well, and make this pitch on my behalf, on our behalf. Why do we need to elect a Liberal Member of Parliament in Huron-Bruce? So I am working hard, but I can't be everywhere. So I am asking you very directly, please be there for me. And by that I mean be there for me, but I mean be there, like over there, down that street, knocking on those doors. And for people who are a little reticent, oh, do I really want to do that? I'll tell you, this is a lot of fun. You're not like leaning hard on people, twisting their arms. You're just meeting people, saying who you are. You're in the community, you're working on my behalf, you know me, you hopefully think I would be a good member of Parliament, and you want others to share your view, and you get their answer, you write it down, and you move on to the next place. And it is remarkable what you learn about our community knocking on doors. You see incredible privilege and wealth. And you see people who are really living in abject poverty, who have incredible needs. People who are struggling with mental health issues and challenges and homelessness and the lack of childcare. So we need to reach out to those people and say, you could have a voice in Ottawa. We could really try to work harder on the issues that matter to you. You meet the most remarkable people when you're out knocking on doors. So I strongly encourage you, please, in the next 6 weeks, it's a short time frame, if I could get every person in this room to go out a couple hours a week and knock on some doors, we would absolutely win this election. No question. No doubt about it. Now there are other things that we ask people to do. We do phone banks. We do have this really neat modern system where you just have a headset and it goes and you talk to somebody on the phone and deliver your message. Reach out that way. We need people to staff these offices. And frankly, this is an expensive business. My brother helped us get a really great deal on this place, but these things do cost money. We spend a lot of money on a modern election campaign. So we ask you to consider, if you're able, to consider donating to this campaign. So I just want to leave it where I started. I really, really need your involvement, your help, even more than you have done already, for us to win this campaign. This election is so important. We thought it was pretty important 4 years ago when we had to end the Stephen Harper regime. We had to defeat that government. We cannot afford to go backwards in this country. And so we need to move forward. And I want you to repeat with me this slogan, because you should be saying it to all your friends and neighbors. And so maybe we should say it 3 times. And the slogan is, I choose forward. Does everyone want to do that? I choose forward. Louder. I choose forward. One more time. I choose forward. Thank you very much. That's the direction we're going to be moving.